As always, I'd like to thank my executive level channel members, Bad Frog, Matrigno, Matsuda R, and Monopoly Mike. If you'd be interested in becoming a channel member yourself, check out the join button below this video. And for my video sponsor this episode, I'm in Queens in Belrose neighborhood because this video is sponsored by Creedmoor. This is a very unusual sort of community node, whatever you want to call it. It's based around the Creedmoor Psychiatric Centre in Queens, in Belrose. And as I zoom in on the Psychiatric Centre here, look at that. All of these properties already surrounding the hospital. As you might imagine, this is a slightly unusual node. It's a bit creepy, and they fully embrace that atmosphere. It's genuinely one of the most interesting and enthusiastic groups that I've ever taken a look at on the Discord. They already have a racetrack and a race team, with the race team being CPR or Creedmoor Psych Raceway. These guys have ambitions to create on-theme, spooky block explorers, outdoor decor, building models, all of that stuff. Once user-generated content comes into the game, this area around Creedmoor in Belrose neighborhood is going to look incredible, especially around Halloween time. It's also possibly a really good place for you to sell your spirit legits. I know that I've got quite a few of those, and once a metaventure shop pops up around here, that'll be a great place to buy and sell spirit legits. I'm a fan of the theme, and I'm impressed with what they've done already. I'll definitely be checking out how this looks at Halloween, and if you're interested in joining up this community, whether that's buying a property, joining the race team, designing custom spooky ornaments, setting up a metaventure shop to sell your spirit legits, or you're just interested to see what they're all about, I've got a link to the Creedmoor community in the description of this video and in the pinned comment, so I absolutely encourage you to check them out because wow, what a unusual and very fun community that is. So thank you Creedmoor for sponsoring this video. And I don't have to travel far from Belrose to get to my own node, Holliswood, which is part of the topic of this video because this is all about nodes, community management, and the fact that players will soon be able to influence what goes on in the Upland metaverse following some announcements at the Q2 roadmap session at Genesis Week. I was there. The atmosphere was amazing, and I think this was one of the greatest things to come out of it. So I'm going to share everything that we learnt about community development and all of that stuff at Genesis Week. So I thought, what better way to start this off than to have a look at Holliswood, see how it's coming along. I believe that we are now at about 15% fully built, which is unbelievable. I mean, look at all these things which are currently being built. There you go, they've all just popped into existence. The colour scheme, it really stands out. I love it. I want to remind everybody that I am still paying incentive payments, but that is ending in about 2 weeks' time. So if you missed the announcement, you've got to construct your property prior to the end of June. So as long as it's fully constructed in June and you post it up on my Discord, by the way, link to my Discord is in the description as well, then you'll get a little bit of a kickback from me for building up in Holliswood. But regardless of if you finish in June or not, that is just a little bonus really. The real success is owning a property and building on that property in a neighborhood as successful as this one, because truly this is one of the greatest nodes that I've ever seen in Upland. I'm so proud of everybody for making this such an incredible success so quickly. It's gone far beyond what I imagined within this time period. It looks like the floor price is about 72,000 UPIX, which is better than most collections in Queens, so clearly there's a lot of demand here, and yeah, I believe that this floor price is going to increase just with the amount of properties that are being built and the fact that this neighborhood looks so great. So keep up the momentum everybody. We're going to the moon together in Holliswood. That's fantastic news. But Radish, why are we talking about nodes? What's going on? Why are we in Holliswood? Well, probably the main thing that we learnt, which is coming up apparently really quite soon, into Upland is the ability to set home residences. And in order to set a home residence, you have to have a property, obviously, but you also have to build a structure on it. Now, I have quite a few properties with structures on them dotted around the Upland map. I am absolutely going to be having Holliswood as my first personal residence to be part of this awesome community which we've developed together. Now, what do you get in order for setting your personal residence? Well, there's a few things. Firstly, there's going to be a new sort of profile picture. I'll have that flash up on the screen, but it's going to be an interesting combination of your block explorer, the city you're in, and the neighborhood. So all of these people who we're looking at who have properties constructed in Holliswood, if you don't sell them and you make them your personal residence, we can all have this awesome Holliswood badge, and you can extract that out of Upland and actually post it on social media to kind of advertise the fact that we're all part of this this community wherever you happen to be. So that's pretty cool. What's even cooler is that with the introduction of personal residences coming to Upland very soon, there will be opportunities to vote on what goes on inside a neighborhood or inside a city. The Upland team member who spoke about voting in the roadmap update didn't give us too many details about what was coming further down the line, but they did imply there was going to be lots of different things that you could vote on. But the first thing, which we definitely will be able to vote on, is on building models. So if, for example, we decided that we hated, I don't know, ranch houses. I love ranch houses. But if we did, we could put it up to a vote and go, hey, all the people in Holliswood who have a structure and who have set their personal residence here, do we like ranch houses? If a certain threshold of people say no, then you can no longer build that kind of structure in a neighborhood. So as I said, that's the first kind of voting that's going to be brought into the game. I'm assuming that later on there'll be restrictions you could be voting on in terms of the types of outdoor decor you can have, can you kit out your house with Halloween or not, or maybe the colors of the houses, which might be more relevant to us. So sort of limiting you to the white and red colour scheme that we've got going on. And this won't just be at a neighbourhood level either. By setting your residence, for example, in Holliswood, you won't just be a resident of Holliswood, you'll also be a resident of Queens. And this is really interesting to me because it kind of implies you're going to have sort of city communities where that doesn't really exist at the moment. You've got people who have more properties in one city or another, but I think when you can only lock yourself down to one structure as your home residence, which I think was confirmed, and there's a bit of a cool down period between changing from one home address to another. So you're going to feel pretty attached to your home residence, and therefore you're also going to feel pretty attached to the neighborhood and the city that you're located in. Does this mean that in the future we're going to have city mayors who can propose votes? Maybe in terms of the amount of business tax that people can charge, or the types of businesses that people can host, or city-wide restrictions on types of property to make sure that it kind of aligns with the the feel of the city. So let's say, for example, we're going to Rio soon. Maybe the mayor of Rio in the future might say only, special Brazilian themed building models can be built here. That's the kind of metaverse that I think we're building towards, and I love it. I think that giving players a bit of a stake in their community, giving them the opportunity to actually shape, the direction their cities and neighborhoods go, and ultimately shaping how the Upland metaverse develops. I think that's what Upland is all about in the long term. I think this is the first step towards something really immersive and fun to play. I also want to call out that it was confirmed that you'll get one vote per person, not per structure. So even though I encourage people to kind of buy and construct lots of buildings in nodes, you'll only get one vote. So that could mean that people who have lots of built structures inside a certain neighborhood, there might be increased demand from players wanting to buy into that neighborhood, because by buying in, you get a vote and you can set your personal residence and get that special profile picture and all of that good stuff as well. So I think by doing this, upland cities and upland neighborhoods can really kind of either try to recreate the real world. So, you know, for example, we do a few new building model types, and it could really encourage people to only build, like, you know, the New York type model if that's voted on, or especially when we go international. That will kind of encourage regional cultures to develop with different building styles and all of that. There's a bit more control about who can build what, rather than having all of the cities across Upland look the same. And it won't just be a visual culture either. I think that this is the first step towards having, you know, real attachment to the place where you are living in Upland. And of course, this is also going to be one of the main prerequisites before we can have neighborhood spawned collections, because Edan, one of the co-founders, said himself that we are getting neighborhood spawned collections based on, you know, the most developed areas, after we get things like personal residences and outdoor decor, because the number of personal residences in a neighborhood and the amount of outdoor decor in a neighborhood are both going to contribute to that neighborhood score, and therefore which neighborhoods are going to spawn collections. So once we get the ability to set a personal residence, that's one step closer to that ultimate node goal of having a neighborhood spawned collection. Because don't forget, that's one of the main reasons that we're doing this, we're building up, is because I don't want Holliswood to be just a standard neighborhood in Queens. I want it to be, you know, a limited and exclusive collection, so we can all start generating some crazy yields, bump up that demand even higher, and those of us who are here already, we're going to do so well. And those were really the main points that were covered during the node sort of community management section of the roadmap AMA. I hope that was exciting and interesting to you all. Definitely when we get additional news, I've heard that these features are not too far off in the horizon, or at least some of them. So when I hear more, check out this channel. I'm going to have all of that news as it comes in. As I wrap up, I of course want to thank my executive and director level channel members, Matsuda R, Matrigno, Monopoly Mike, Bad Frog, and Tajar Zing. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.